Hey mini starters, this is Arin. This is the first video in a series I'm going to be putting out on wish cycling. The item that I'm going to be talking about today is a disposable coffee cup. So if you're a coffee drinker like me, I know it can be confusing sometimes on whether a coffee cup is recyclable, trash, or something that you can compost. And so today I'm hoping that I can help you demystify that and just get a better idea of how to decide whether it's trash, recyclable, or compost. So the first thing that I'm going to look at here is I have a Caribou coffee cup, first of all. Caribou has been a little confusing lately. They had compostable coffee cups for a while, but it appears they've gone back. So I actually have a compostable Caribou coffee cup that I found just digging through my trash as I was creating this video. So yeah, don't ask me what I do with my spare time, but what you can see here is there's that BPI certification right there. That BPI certification tells me that this cup is compostable, uh, whereas this other cup, nothing. The next thing that I want to look at, let's say it didn't have the BPI certification, which this cup does not. So after thoroughly looking, I open it up. Ooh, it's kind of a crusty cup now. It's been sitting around for a while. It's gross. But what I look at, I take my finger and I just run it across the inside. No joke, that's how you tell if there's a petroleum-based lining or not. And that lining is basically in there to help insulate, keep the coffee cup warm, and not burn your hands, not keep the cup from breaking down. So it has a very positive functional benefit. Unfortunately, when you find out that that is the case, it is something that you put in the trash. So when there's a petroleum-based smooth lining on the inside, put that in the trash. And the reason why I'm calling out these differences is sometimes it'll say like compostable in all caps. And generally I'd say those things are compostable. It's best to do that just like litmus test, just make sure that there isn't that petroleum-based linings. There have been a lot of greenwashing cases where companies will say things are compostable, trying to get people to feel better about buying them, but really that's not the case, and it ends up not getting composted down the line. So that's pretty much the cup. The next thing I want to get into is the lid. So the coffee lid, it looks like something you can recycle. It has a little resin coat on it. I've put out some information in the past on just making sure that things with a 1, 2, 4, and 5 resin code are things that you can recycle. Generally, there are markets for them. So look at this one. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is a 6 resin code. So that means right off the bat, it's something you put in the trash. I will say too, before even going that far into it, since this is something that's pretty flat, the 2D and 3D sensors in the sorting facility, the MRFs are what they're called, materials recovery facility. Uh, that's where our recycling goes, and this will get in with the paper pile, and it turns into a contaminant because it's so thin and small. It gets picked up as something that's paper. So unfortunately, this is going to be a contaminant down the line. This is something that you pretty much always want to put into the garbage. So yeah, that's two things that we're putting in the garbage today. That's not very exciting. But the sleeve, what I look at for this is if there's paper that's greater than the size of a Post-it note. This is a paper-based product. It looks like paper, kind of like an egg carton. So there might be some people that say this is compostable. I put these in the recycling bin. I feel like they pass the guideline of being about the size of a Post-it note. This is where it gets kind of iffy. We do our best when we can. Another point that my friend Anna brought up that's really important is that we don't necessarily always have the infrastructure available at coffee shops or around us at our houses to compost the materials that are actually BPI certified or have that stamp of approval. So It's challenging from the consumer perspective where we're trying to do the right thing. And let's say we go to a coffee shop that has a compostable coffee cup and we feel really good about it. But then we end up putting that in the trash and that's going to go into the landfill. It's biodegrading, but it's going to take a lot longer. It's not going to the compost pile that has a process that can turn around the material into reusable soil. I want to implore you when there are cases where you see that kind of infrastructure at coffee shops where they're trying to do the right thing, they're trying to provide compostable coffee cups, and oftentimes they're incurring a higher cost on those coffee cups. I would recommend that you go and just have a candid conversation with the manager and just kind of lay out the scenario. Don't judge them about it. Go with a question based approach. Really try to understand where they're coming from and do your best to see if there are ways where you can try to help them solve the problem based off of maybe some of your experiences and other things that you've seen that have been helpful. So going into this, you probably had a good idea of where this was going. It's good to understand whether the disposable coffee cup is recyclable, compost, or trash. But the thing that we want to do is think about reduce, reuse, and recycle. That order really matters. Reduce is at the top of the list, and what you can do to reduce is get a reusable coffee mug. So thanks for letting me have my little moment there. The reusable coffee cup is obviously the best thing that you can get to try to reduce your impact in the first place. I know it's really hard to remember to bring these things, and it's frustrating that it's on individuals to remember to do so. That's unfortunately the current state that we live in, and I know there's a lot of great reusable coffee cup brands out there. My favorite is the Clean Canteen. I have a Clean Canteen water bottle and a Clean Canteen coffee mug, I should say. And it really helps keep the coffee warm for a longer period of time. I actually enjoy it more than the disposable cup now. So if that's something you're interested in getting, please reach out to me. I can help you get set up with that. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm hoping you found some helpful information on how to properly dispose of a coffee cup next time you come across one in the wild. So I am gonna go grab a cup of coffee. I'm hoping that you'll comment and like this video, share with friends, do all the things, and have a great day. Thank you.